Welcome, everybody, to 3 Drink Minimum. It's Monday, September 21st. My name is Frank Pellegrino, and I am joined by my beautiful gingered co-hosts, Joseph Conklin.
That's me.
And Chrissie Mayr.
I'm back!
Yay.
She's back.
I'm back, and I'm here. I was gone, now I'm back.
JC is not here tonight. He is too cool for us. He's on a show, of course. Joining us tonight on the couch is the very funny Westchester comic, Aaron Sabater.
What's up, people?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Not much. I'm chilling right now.
Yeah, what's new with you?
Just the same old. Just got out of work, doing a regular job. Now I'm here.
Now, you're kind of like in a time flux right now. You're waiting to hear back from the military.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get on as many shows as possible.
Trying to get on as many shows as possible without totally fucking up my schedule. Oh my god, can I curse?
You can totally fucking curse.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
You do it and then you ask for permission.
That was such an opportunity to really screw with him, and you're like, no.
Be like,
Yeah,
oh my god, what's the fine on that?
There is no fine.
Sweet.
Here. So how is it like? Before we get into everyone's weekend, I'm really curious about this. I hope you don't mind, guys.
Yeah, no, go for it.
You don't know when you're going to get called to the Coast Guard.
No, National Guard.
National Guard. It could be like any day.
It could be tomorrow. It could be in like a month.
And you have to literally drop everything you're doing and just report.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's the Army, so.
Is that stressful?
Not really. I mean, it's stressing my girl out. That's about it. But it's not really like bothering me.
Oh,
Is that weird?
I don't know. I feel like
I feel like
I
it's
feel like
kinda
I'd be
weird.
stressing.
Well, yeah, I don't think you do well in combat, Frank.
No, I would
Aww.
I would get killed.
I'm not saying that
before-
I would either, just so you know, but no, I don't think you would do well.
I feel like I'd break my ankle getting off the bus.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Actually,
Seinfeld.
wait, can I tell a story?
Yes.
Because I think it's funny. So I was in basic training, and I got scared because the drill sergeants were like yelling and shit. Because you're talking about like breaking your ankle. So I got scared and I got nervous and I was fat already. Like I was fat, like fatter than I am now. And I'm getting off
You're
the
fat.
bus. The drill sergeant's like, "Get the fuck off the bus! Hurry up!" But I got scared, so I dropped my bag. I had this big green bag, and I dropped the bag. But I went with the bag as I dropped it.
Oh, no.
And I pretended like I hurt myself. I don't know if that's like a pussy move, but like I pretended like I hurt myself, and that's pretty much how my basic training went. It was just constantly faking injuries.
Aaron, was the drill sergeant like a Full Metal Jacket?
One,
Was
yes.
he just screaming at you for jelly
One
donuts?
one of them, yes. And I mean, some of it was kind of like our fault. Like we would buy candy and stuff like that, do shit we weren't supposed to, and then bring it back to the barracks. And you're not supposed to do that.
So,
I didn't know.
National Guard people, you heard it here. Aaron is going to totally sabotage everything and pretend to get hurt because he is a pussy.
That was my nickname in basic.
Sabotage? Oh, man. Let's go around. Joe, how was your weekend?
Miserable. I spent it face down on a mattress. Sick.
That sounds hot.
That's hot, yeah.
That sounds great.
That's hot.
I wish I just got to
Sounds
lay
good.
down on a mattress all weekend.
Yeah, but probably for different reasons, you whore.
Yeah, probably. Chrissy, what was your favorite part of the weekend?
Laying down, face down on a mattress.
Nice.
I never thought I'd go to the Renaissance Fair even once, but this weekend marked my second time
Oh.
in one summer going. So
Did you enjoy it?
a little bit weirder and nerdier than I thought. It was really good. Yeah, it was good. Once you get over like not having wings and a crazy costume.
Did you drink?
No,
that
we
actually
drank the
makes it a
first
lot
time, and then the
Don't they
second
have
time we
mead?
didn't drink.
better. Yeah, they have mead.
Meat is so
Meat is the
good.
shit.
It's so
You,
good.
I totally needed some mead the whole time, but
The best was the cider. They take the cider beer and then they put the meat in it. It's
The beast.
That
So fun.
sounds
Yeah.
dangerous.
we had some really
Yeah.
delicious, like really freshly made donuts with like marshmallows and chocolate sauce. They were like s'more donuts, but they were good. They were like these old school donuts.
That's like munchy heaven right there.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. What else did I do? Oh, was there comedy this weekend? I can't remember.
You're asking me if you had comedy?
Yeah, we were together the whole weekend. Didn't you handle the schedule?
Did you? You might have had a show on Friday.
Didn't I? Oh.
You guys are doing good.
This is
God, I
terrible.
am so
This is supposed to be like an
rusty.
exciting part. Like, oh, what was your favorite part of the weekend? I think I might have done comedy.
Oh,
Well,
I
I mean,
did a
if you
spot
can't remember
on-
what you did.
I did a
Yeah.
spot on Memphis Maze on Friday.
Oh, that Memphis Maze show was so good.
It was
So
really
good, you forgot about it.
But Pete Lee came back up, crushed it.
Yeah.
Fucking crushed it. Casey Aurora jumped in last minute because Tim Dillon had to, he had a Comedy Central thing going on.
So me and
Comedy
Ka-
Central over Memphis.
I know, right?
Comedy Central doesn't have barbecue.
me and KC had to like we weigh about together what Tim Dillon weighs, so that's how you wake up first.
Wow.
Damn, she don't care either.
Damn.
By weight,
No, she don't-
comedy
That's
It's
by
like,
weight.
fuck it, I'm
fucked up.
saying it.
Given.
It's okay. Tim Dillon hated on the food. The only person ever hated on the Memphis Maze food.
Really? How do you
Yeah.
handle that
Because he said that.
He goes, I've eaten places.
Yeah.
And that isn't shit.
He said, I've eaten places, guys. Don't you know that?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's funny.
Guys, should we get into the first topic we have for today?
food? Sure.
Joseph, why don't you kick it off?
Was that my cue that you had me set up for, Frank?
It was terrible.
Last week, we talked about the whole Jessica Delfino thing, where she set out to set the record, and she said 16 spots, and she called in, and I think it was, I don't know if you guys had seen the look on her faces. We were stunned.
Yeah.
Because Frank made a joke about Aaron Berg doing.
I said, how would you feel if Aaron Berg's 25 spots, 10 of them were open mics?
Yeah, and she was more than ecstatic to tell us that, what was it, 4 open mics or 3?
2 or 3 mics, and then a few were Subway
Subway.
spots.
Wait, is that what
Stop.
that whole thing was with the cameras and all that with Aaron
Yeah,
Berg?
yeah.
Oh, because I was at Stand Up New York. I did a show that Saturday.
You did.
Yeah,
That's the day
and
he broke
just
the
showed
record.
up with cameras and like 2 Asian people. I was like, the hell is this guy doing? I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, he set the record. He did 25 sets in one night.
That's cool.
But 2 days prior, Jessica Delfino had set out to do it. And she set out. She did 16. The problem that came up is some people didn't consider the mics and the spots she did in the Subway. They didn't think they should count towards the record. And I'll be honest with you, I have to agree.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
I don't think open mics and doing spots in the Subway count. Nothing to take away from her. Like I said before, I don't think I have 11 spots this month, let alone in one evening. She still accomplished a lot. I'm just not sure that those spots should count. And we did reach. I did try to get her involved in the conversation, and she never jumped in.
Yeah, and those conversations were really animated. I know Mark Anthony Ramirez was very passionate about it. He knew Steve Burns.
Yeah, he knows her too.
He knows her too?
He knows her.
Okay. But yeah, I wish she...
I wish she had chimed in because I would love to hear her response to it. I really would. Like, I don't shit on anybody, but if it comes up in a conversation, my opinion is I don't think those spots count.
I agree. Chrissie, you said to me, I don't know if it was privately or with a bunch of people, he said, you know what, fuck it, I'll ride up and down the subway all night long and do 100 spots.
Yeah, I'll do one on the Metro North first thing in the morning. You know, nobody's listening at like 6, 7 in the morning. Hell no. And then
Go into each car,
and then-
right?
Yeah, I could definitely knock like 8 out because there's usually like 8 cars, so there's 8 right there before I even get into the city. And then a couple subways in the bathroom at work. There's sometimes it's big, and there's sometimes like maybe 4 other people in there.
Maybe online at Starbucks.
Yeah, and the elevator, that's like I'm on the 35th floor, so it takes a while, and sometimes there's like 8 people in the elevator. So
Wait, I post jokes on Comedy Wire all the time. Do this count as spots?
I think according to Jessica, I think they do.
Oh, I have set a record. I did 160 spots yesterday.
This is a true champion.
like
so-
maybe if I have a really
Shit,
long
I'm
Starbucks order like that.
But I think
I can just
JC
keep
had the
going
good point
into
about the
jokes.
mics, though. It's all honesty. If you started in New York City at like 3 p.m., you could set a record of like 50 spots if you counted mics.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I'm take nothing away from her, but I wish she had engaged in the conversation. I would love to hear her side of this, of how, I'm not trying to put her up against the wall and make her defend herself, but I would love to hear her opinion of why she thought they counted. Because I remember she had told us that she began planning it in February.
Yeah, yeah.
And it made me wonder, it's like, February, by the time you did the spots, it's August. It was August, right? September? Did she do
September.
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 How did it still pan out to be mics and subway spots if you've been planning it since February? I mean, I don't know about personal life comes up with everything.
And she had the crazy thing is she had the benefit of a driver.
Oh wow.
That should have made it really easy. I mean, 13 spots is very difficult to do. It is.
impressive.
You can't take
Yeah,
anything
no,
away from what
absolutely.
Steve Burns did. Aaron Berg blew it away.
Yeah, 25.
From everything I read, I think it was all shows, whether it's mostly clubs. But he was smart. I think he doubled up on New York Comedy Club, doubled up on LOL, which you could do. You can close and open 2 shows that are running at the same time.
Yep.
So Aaron Berg blew it away. But defending Steve Burns, in 2003, there was not the explosion of comedy that there is right now.
There also wasn't Uber.
Or Facebook or internet or anything. Oh, there was the internet, but Facebook was... Mark Zuckerberg just created Facebook in 2003. Yeah. Nobody was on it except for his college.
I was on it. As soon as they let, like, the
I was still in
dumber
an
schools
AOL chat room. I was hitting up Friendster.
ASL, baby. Friendster.
Aaron, how do you feel about this?
I think it's cheating.
You think it's cheating?
That's cheating.
You're saying cheating.
You can't say like mics and what was the subway spots? It doesn't really count.
Okay.
Because if that's the case, then I might decide to do that after this.
Yeah, I think you and Chrissie can take 2 different Metro North lines down to the city.
That's what I'm saying. We could do this right now.
Yeah.
I'll map it out.
Does this count right now? Aaron, get up and tell a joke, and maybe this counts as a spot.
So I was walking out to. No, I'm not gonna do that.
There's one. Boom.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
It is good to set your own personal record. Like, I applaud anybody who tries to do a large amount of anything. But yeah, do you want to call
Coke?
that the same? Yeah, sure. But do you want to call that the same exact kind of record? Maybe not. But it's still great.
No, listen. Like I said, I take nothing away from her. 11 spots in one night. Even that's a lot.
It is a lot.
That sounds like a porno.
11
spots in one night.
I think the record for that's like 300 or something like that.
Wow.
Was it?
That's different.
Sounds painful.
Porn.
So hopefully Jessica will respond.
I hope so.
And maybe we'll try and get Aaron Berg to call in next week and talk about this a bit.
Honestly, I would just like to hear her opinion on it.
Yeah.
That's all it really is. I'm not asking her to defend herself. She don't have to come here and prove to us that she feels that. But I would just like to hear her side of why she feels it's legitimate.
So are we all in agreement that that those 4 or 5 things were not anything significant at all? 11 is great.
11 is great.
But
I mean, yeah, no, I don't think they count.
No, nobody remembers. When someone hits Barry Bonds at 73 home runs, everyone forgets Mark McGwire's 70.
Wait, so you're trying to say we should put an asterisk next to her, Lee?
Yeah, you know what? If she wants to say 16 counts, asterisk it.
Well, I guess because part of the record
Say that.
Part of the record has to do with being booked. It's not even like because there's certainly have
the conductor.
I've gone to mics.
MTA.
I've gone to mics that have been better attended and more entertaining than shows. Like one could argue that certain mics feel like shows.
Fair
like
enough.
Beauty Bar, Duplex, like a lot of them are very good. But I think there is something to be said for being like booked in advance, like you're scheduling it out. That's a big part.
Your face on a flyer, your name in a lineup.
Yeah, you
Even
don't
then,
have to just you just drop in.
Because she one of her spots was actually on my auto show, and actually I'd seen you in the train ride that same night.
Oh yeah.
And I was worried that my show was the low end of her record. I was like, I only had like 7, 8 audience members. I felt terrible. She came in, she did the thing, but even then, I booked her maybe 2 weeks prior.
Because she had emailed the NOMA email, and I had to forward it to you.
And it was like 2 weeks prior. I mean, maybe some shows backed out last second. See, that's what I'd like to find out from her. Maybe something happened where some shows got canceled or something fell through, and she had to fill in these spots with this.
Maybe she's only trying to just do more than 13 of anything,
13, like what?
I like how she's positive now, but when we move on to her topic.
Oh, yes.
Watch that positivity go right out the
Speaking
window.
of which, Chrissie, what is our second topic?
Okay, well, as some of you may or may not know, there's a 10-year-old girl doing comedy now. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I do know how I feel about it, but I don't want to sound like a bitch.
Just so we're clear, we're not talking about Chris Robinson, right?
No. We're talking about Saffron Herndon, which sounds like, her mom clearly named her after, like, her favorite herb.
Like tea?
Real big into cooking.
That could be your stage name.
It's like her name was going to either be Earl Grey or Saffron.
Saffron. So anyway, she's in Texas. She's based out of Texas. She's done like a couple of festivals. I did see a clip of hers, and she claims to like write her own jokes. Like I believe she came up with her own premises. Like, I believe she had the unique thought of, my dad doesn't think I'm pretty enough to be in pageants. Like, a 10-year-old can definitely come up with that. But, like, unless she has been watching stand-up comedy for years, there's no way she's going to be able to write her own jokes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
nobody rambles on like a 10-year-old girl, and like, she's just, there's no way she would have known to cut her stuff short, like where a punchline should be, unless she is watching so much stand-up comedy that she picks up on it.
Yeah, right. Who are her inspirations? Like Bob the Builder?
No.
Like, she's not watching Richard Pryor videos. You know what I mean?
On her website, she says, I hope to follow in the footsteps of my comedy heroes, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Phyllis Diller, and Aubrey Plaza. Hey, I did improv with Aubrey Plaza.
She listed Phyllis Diller.
I should be one of
Tina
her
Fey and Amy
heroes.
Poehler were improvers. They're not stand-ups.
Well, they're under the umbrella of like comedy. You know,
yeah.
it's they're women. You look up to. I mean, I looked up to, I think, like adult Barbie when I was. I mean,
Adult Barbie.
you don't know when you're little.
All right, can I play devil's advocate?
Go for it.
Yeah.
What about like kid musicians that play, guitar or violin?
true.
Like they're
I was
like
gonna bring that up.
like they're 50
And
years
they
old.
do play it in the subway. Actually, I've heard some of the best musicians have been children I've heard on the subway.
They're normally Asian though.
Yeah, that's true.
This girl is not Asian.
like, she's got pretty
Nope.
decent stage presence and confidence, and like,
See, you know what it is, Gypsy?
and like, she even has a little personality on stage.
when you see the kids with a really musical talent, you're like, oh, those are smart kids that like excel in math and everything. When we see someone doing comedy, we're like, wow, her mental illness progressed really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't see me trying to be the oldest person in 4th grade. Like, why do you gotta get up in my
You feel like
thing?
she's stepping on your toes?
I feel like she's, yeah.
I feel like you're hating a bit,
I feel
Chrissie.
like she's gonna be my boss in a couple years. Like, I'm gonna be like a writer on her show.
Did she
soon.
say something to you in a comedy club? Be honest.
No,
No?
I've never met her, and maybe it's because I feel threatened. Maybe it's because she has a really good joke about the Foo Fighters.
Do you think she requires her friends to bring 5 friends to her birthday party? Like that kind of thing?
know.
Like, you can come to Chuck E. Cheese, but you need to bring 5 paying guests.
See, here's
That's
the thing:
two
is like,
fruit punches.
also, this is how I
Two
can
fruit
tell
punches.
she doesn't write all of her own material. She has a really good joke, like, oh, I wish Kurt Cobain had killed himself, like, 5 years later instead of when he killed himself. And then, I guess her dad or somebody was like, well, don't you wish that Kurt Cobain had never killed himself? And then her response was, well, no, then we would never have the Foo Fighters.
I don't see how any 10-year-old
How
can
would a
appreciate
10-year-old
either band.
No, appreciate those bands, but like know the history of like, unless
Google.
again, like that's all she's doing. I don't know.
10-year-olds,
possible,
Gypsy,
but
you
it's
think
far-fetched.
10-year-olds are Googling Kurt Cobain?
Yeah.
Why would a
actually,
10-year-old
I
Google
believe
Kurt?
that.
10-year-old nowadays are not 10-year-olds like we were.
Yeah, he's-
the
Yeah,
kids
They're all
are way
sucking
more
dick,
sophisticated.
probably.
Dude, I see
Yeah,
these kids walking home
actually.
from school and they're like college kids.
Come on, they think Drake and Rihanna and Lady Gaga are the classic artists.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
I'm,
Craig.
mean,
what
there's
I'm saying is the
11-year-olds
dumb
banging.
kids are really dumb, but the smart kids are really smart.
There's
That's
no
what I'm
gray
True,
area
they have like
anymore.
access to more information.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't-
what? I mean, I don't know. When I was 10, I was into like jazz and break. Like I was into older shit.
When I was 10, I think I had an Alanis Morissette CD and Hootie and the Blowfish. I think those are the only 2 CDs I had.
That
But you
explains
didn't
a
listen to
lot.
stuff at all like that was like outside of your age group and shit. At
I
all?
didn't do
10,
that till high school.
95. Yeah, wasn't that Hootie and the Blowfish?
Yeah.
I listened to Hootie and the Blowfish, Counting Crows, Alanis Morissette, and No Doubt. I think that was it.
Did you ever listen to anyone that had already been dead?
No. No.
I listened to the
I knew
Grateful
about
Dead in high
Elvis and
school.
stuff, but
Right.
what'd you say, Chrissy?
I listened to like the Grateful Dead in high school, but Jimi Hendrix. But
This girl's in
that's-
middle school.
That's because I had older siblings. Yeah, and it was in like.
No, wait,
listen
how old
to
is she?
older
She's
stuff.
how old?
She's 10.
She's 10.
So she's in like elementary school.
Jesus, yeah, that's
she's like
that's
fifth
really
grade.
fucking young. That's like if I had my son go up, who's 4, and make these same jokes. I don't think it resonates to them. It's
You
not
can't,
real.
Like, be listening to like the Foo Fighters and want the crusts cut off your sandwich. It's one or the other. Anyway,
Aaron, what are your thoughts?
You know what? Because I've seen some of her jokes, and I'm like, oh my god, it is funny. It's funny coming out of her mouth, but I mean, you can tell somebody's trying to live vicariously through their child.
You know, this is
definitely
like
getting help.
who saw Grandma's Boy,
Nobody.
Also,
the movie. You saw it, right?
Just a little bit, maybe.
Conklin, you saw it?
Yeah.
Chrissie, you didn't see
Tyler
Grandma's...
Perry movie?
No, Jesus Christ.
It is a Tyler Perry
sounds
movie.
like
No, it's
it has
not.
Medea in it and
Sounds
everything.
No,
like
Grandma's Boy.
oh, wait. Bad Grandpa.
Yeah, I've seen Bad Grandpa.
Bad Grandpa, that's the Johnny Knoxville one.
Yeah.
You got the little kid who's 10 or 11 years old. He's got
Right.
the earpiece in his ear, and the writers, all the jackass people, are feeding
Yeah.
him the lines to
that's-
say to
That's
strangers.
funny. Oh, the little fat kid?
Yes.
Yeah, he's cute. But
Yeah.
he's like, I think he's a mess now. I don't think he's still
What is he, 13,
has a
14?
career. I think he's burnt
That's all it
out.
takes.
I just don't want this to happen to her, is all. You know.
But I think it's the same type of thing.
Here's the thing, too. Like, you're not good at two things when you're a little kid. Stand-up comedy and sex.
Oh, I was going to thought you say, like, doing coke. But that's
Yeah,
not
well,
true.
that's there's just certain things that like, it's very cute. It's very novel. She'll get into a lot of festivals. She'll probably get on TV, but like, is she going to have a career of doing this? I don't know.
I bet you, like, this is a prank, and Jimmy Kimmel's behind the whole thing.
Maybe.
And they're feeding the lines to her the whole time on stage. I don't know.
I don't mean to sound super negative, but I just.
Well,
I think when it's like when you're a child actor. It's like you
Yeah.
start. but
Oh,
there's-
guys,
there's
we've
no
got
way.
a phone call. Let's take it. Hello, caller. You're calling 3-drink minimum.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mark Anthony Ramirez.
Mark Anthony Ramirez,
I was
what's going
so
on?
afraid that it was the little girl. I was like, oh shit.
What's up, Mark?
What's going on, guys?
We are talking. We were just talking about Jessica Delfino. Now we've moved on to that 10-year-old girl. Have you seen the video of her?
Which one?
Saffron.
Oh, that. Goodbye,
That
caller.
sounds illegal.
Oh, gross.
Saffron Herndon, the 10-year-old comic.
That's what this joke is.
Hernia.
Oh, yeah, she's adorable.
You think she's adorable?
She's adorable.
Yeah, she's a cute kid.
What do you think of her doing stand-up? Do you find it authentic at all?
Mommy and Daddy probably don't make a lot of money. You know, I don't know. Like, whatever. She wants to do it. She has a passion for it. And her parents support it because they probably do have the money. And they can make her a YouTube sensation. Why not? You know. She
Fuck
could be
it.
one of those bratty kids that's like, Mommy, make me famous. Mommy, I want candy. Mommy, Daddy's got money, make me famous.
You can tell he has kids.
He's venting.
So she's like Veruca Salt.
Mark, you've got
God.
4 kids, right, Mark?
Yes.
Would you ever write jokes and put your kid on stage and encourage her, or you think 10 is too young?
I think 10's a little young to be dragging your kid around out to nightclubs. But, you know, guys like Chappelle started at 14. Nico White started at 14. I mean, depends on the parents. You know what I mean? And depends on other factors.
That's true. I have been sucking dick since 14, and I'm pretty
Nice.
good at it now.
Chrissie,
Yeah, but how are you at 10?
10, I didn't even. I was very afraid of penises. All of
she was
them.
working. She was working her way up from my spot.
10, I was just doing hand jobs.
She's like, I with gloves because cooties are a thing.
Where the hell did you grow up? Thailand?
Me, Long Island.
Close
That
enough.
sounds right. That sounds right.
Sounds right, Long Island. What did you do today, honey, after school? I just gave the gym teacher a handy.
Ew.
Oh, my God.
Not the gym teacher, like a lifeguard or somebody cute.
Jesus Christ.
Mark, what are your thoughts on, I don't know if you did you see the clip from our show last week with Jessica Delfino?
Yeah, about the supposed record being broken by several people all in 1 week.
Yes, how do you feel about this?
I don't think mics or just popping up on the subway should count as performance. You know, like it's different. What Steve Burton did was a very coordinated, very put together, all pro event. You know, he did nothing but pro shows at clubs. You know, and he ran around and it was very coordinated and it was filmed and documented and there were no mics involved. To me,
Right.
that's more legit. I mean, I still think it's an amazing feat, you know, to do that many spots in one night, whether they're mics or not. The train doesn't count for me at all. Like, if I go to a senior center and just start telling jokes, does that count as a performance?
No. If you just show up randomly, no, I don't
You
think
have
it
to be
does.
booked at a senior center.
They may forget that you were coming.
Right.
Seniors.
You know what I mean? So it's like I don't really know. You know, I mean, I love Jessica. I've known her for years. She's a sweetheart. She's a great person. You know, I just don't know if that counts. Like subway performances probably don't count. Mics, there are like 25 mics in the city every night now. if Steve Byrne wanted to do 40 sets in one night, he probably could have done it if he had a car and a police escort. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think there's some kind of inflation aspect too because of how comedy is now with all the shows and more clubs and more opportunities. So, I mean, would you even say that Aaron Berg's 25 is as impressive as Steve Byrne's 13 from 12 years ago?
He's another guy. Like I don't really know him. I respect his stuff. I respect his effort.
I respect his
I don't
arms.
know. I don't really know how many of his shows were mics or not. I don't.
Well,
Is
was
there video of him
club.
doing all 25 shows?
I think they documented the entire thing.
They were.
Oh yeah, they did.
I don't know. Like, to me, if there were all 25 club shows, I'd be really impressed.
I think
but I don't think
he did club and bar, right?
spots.
I think it was mostly club shows, but he was smart about it with the multiple room spots. Gypsy, I actually threw a picture of Mark Anthony Ramirez in the Dropbox. If you could throw,
Yeah, because he's adorable.
he's very cute.
His cheeks,
We
you just
want
want
to
to
see a
pinch.
pretty face.
I think it was mostly club shows and then bar shows, like booked bar shows for Aaron Berg.
It's weird because some book bar shows almost equate to some club shows on a certain level. There's some bar shows that pay. I think the records are different. I still think 25 spots is a tremendous accomplishment. Just like even Jessica doing 11, 13, whatever,
Totally.
14
Oh, yeah,
spots.
easily.
Right? It's a tremendous accomplishment. I just don't think it's the same as the original record that Steve set because I think it was just because he did all clubs. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, if you do 3 spots in a club that has multiple rooms, it's really not that difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just different. I
That's
think
true.
because you have so much more comedy in New York now, it's just a little different. It's not as difficult to do. It's still a valuable number. I don't know. I just think the records are different.
All right, Mark, I got one more question for you before we have to take a break. Marry, kill, fuck: Jessica Delfino, Aaron Berg, or Saffron Herndon?
Saffron has merch, by the way.
Bring those names back. I'll take the 10-year-old right now. I'd like a piece of her career.
Okay, Mark, thank you so much for calling. Really appreciate it, dude.
Guys, thanks for having me as always. It's a great
Bye,
pleasure to see you.
Mark.
Bye, Pookie
Bye, guys.
Bear.
All right, guys, we are flying through the time. It is time then for us to take a quick commercial break, and we return. I think we're going to have Frank Valbiro in here to talk about his comedy debut last week at Lucy's. So stick around, and we will be right back.
Out of all the personalities, aspiring musicians, writers, poets, and internet sensations here in the 21st century, there is, indeed, one group that loves smoking a hookah better than everybody else. That's right, the Zedalza Entertainment Network, a broadcast network hailing from New York, comprised of all original programming and personalities. And they smoke the hookah like it's nobody's business. They pack a hookah for their network meetings, live broadcasts. They've even come up with their own signature tricks, such as the L-shaped exhale and the smokestack. Ah, yes, no one enjoys a hookah better than the boys over at www.zenlive.tv.
Addicted to Ink, a proud sponsor of the Zedalza Entertainment Network, is Westchester's premier tattoo, piercing, and apparel destination, offering only the finest tattoo and piercing services as well as the best atmosphere you will find. Addicted to Ink is located conveniently at 38 Westchester Avenue in White Plains, New York, right across the street from the Westchester Mall. If you got the itch for more ink, like the Zedalza boys do, get your work done right. Visit www.addictedtoinktattoos.com for more information.
Monday's got you off the wagon? Well, worry no more, because it's now officially a part of the 3-day weekend. So get on board. Come party with the Standby Gypsy, Juju the Model, and Blue Rivera every Monday night for your entertainment week in review, off-the-wall interactive segments, live performances, in-depth interviews, and the latest in sports. The Hangover Takeover is live every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on zenlive.tv.
You're watching the Zedalza Entertainment Network on zenlive.tv.
Welcome back, everyone, to 3 Drink Minimum. That was really cool that Mark called in.
Yeah.
I like Mark. He's a wealth of knowledge in this industry.
Yeah, he's like
so.
our comedy uncle.
He is like a comedy uncle, and he's moving up upstate a bit. So hopefully we'll see more of him a little soon. Guys, joining us now is Frank Valbiro, who just recently made his comedy debut. Obviously, you guys know him from Quite Frankly and Zedalza New York and everything that has to do with the network here. He's one of the founders of Zedalza Entertainment Network. So congratulations, motherfuckers.
Yo, a pleasure. And it's all because of you guys, too. Seriously, Buckle, I was telling people before that if by some chance that was the last time I ever did anything stand-up related, it was a major thing off my bucket list. So it was a very momentous occasion for me, and you guys have no clue how special it was.
Oh, you were so good. Like, we've seen a lot of people do stand-up for the first time, and a lot of people are, like, effing terrible, which you completely expect, but, like, you have so much experience, like, talking to yourself on the show.
Oh, it's usually, just talking to myself.
I mean, to your fans. But, like,
no, it is myself.
You have a lot of experience, like, you know, you were so comfortable on stage. You were so funny. You were so smart. You had a lot of really great points. So it's nice. It's nice to see a smart stand-up comedian.
Well,
Not
thank
just
you.
talking about dicks.
Yeah, well, you know, there is some dick humor on the way, I'm sure. But Blue's Clues would have to suffice for now.
Yeah.
Now, how did you feel? Obviously, you looked beyond comfortable up there, and you talk all day pretty much for an hour every day, and then hours afterwards. You're just comfortable on stage as well. What was the translation for you? Like, was it? I'm explaining this really
what was
terribly.
your process like getting ready for this? Did you take nuggets you already had? Did you listen to stand up?
To be honest, I have been in the mode of recording all of my thoughts since about 2006, when we started our radio show on the campus of Manhattanville College, and our radio show, the Zedalza radio show, before it was visuals, and then we changed it to Zedalza New York, was pretty much a confess all type of hour. You know, so if I had a thought that I wanted to bring up because it led me to a funny thought or it led me to some kind of a stupid scenario, I'm constantly writing myself stuff down so I can bring it up in conversation with the guys. So I have all of these things down, and when I start talking them out in my head, it leads me to other places. So I just have so much shit, and it never ends, and I'm just a slave to my own way of thinking. So, to be honest, the first thing I said when I got on air with on stage about Blue's Clues was totally correct. That was 36 hours beforehand. I had something totally different planned out, and then all of a sudden I just went on to this Steve from Blue's Clues rant, and that's just how it is. So the process has been ingrained for a while. As far as being on stage, our father, Anthony and I's father, had us on stage since we were 5 years old, doing theater, and then of course we started performing musically, and so being in front of people never been a problem, and we do so much talking, but I did have so much fucking nerves. I had nerves beforehand. It was more so excitement, but dude.
Were they gone as soon as you got on stage, though?
As soon as I got up there, everything was gone. But I knew that any time Chrissie was going to go up there and say, now this one, something about this could be my first time or something. Oh my God.
And you know how I didn't say that? I didn't say it was going to be your first time. Because that's a stupid thing to do. I hate when people do that. It's like... Because why say that? Like what? Like
doesn't help the performer.
I'm gonna respect you as much as I can. You're on our show, so like I'm just gonna be like, well, you're performing. You're a stand-up comic, just like anybody else.
And by the way, fantastic host. You entertained me thoroughly.
Wow.
Thoroughly, and the whole lineup that night was so great. I had a great time. Everybody that we came with did. Awesome comedians.
That's good. And your family sat right in the front row, didn't they? Or like
Very
the
supportive.
front table? And your dad's an actor too, right? Is that why you got a lot of
actor, director, choreographer, singer? I got all the theater from my father, and I got my mother was the shortstop. She taught me baseball.
Oh,
so everything was flipped in my family.
You're so well-rounded.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though. Yeah, you were like really such a natural. Like you should definitely keep going.
Now, why did it take you so long to get up the nerve to do it? Was it Gypsy that did it a few weeks ago? Is that what kind of pushed you a little bit?
You know what? Gypsy doing it definitely enabled me, but I have to give you guys 100% credit for everything outside of Gypsy, testing waters himself, because it's something that I always wanted to do. I've always been taken by people like, George Carlin and Bill Hicks, and I listen and I watch them. They speak to me in more recently Louis C.K. They speak to me in a way where, yeah, it's hilarious, but you're going on a ride, and I love the monologue, intellectual type of approach and all that shit, because being alive on this planet is a fucking joke most of the time. And the things that we are embroiled in, and the scenarios that we find ourselves in with other people or with groups, and the hive mind and the caveman thinking that we all do, everything is just so rich. And I really I always wanted to do it, but I was never the type that was just like, oh, you know what? I think this weekend I'm going to go find an open mic somewhere. Your guys' arrival on the network was just like, if the portal opens up, I'm walking through like Stargate.
Aww.
Like I'm going through, So
it's true. It's like it's a whole different world. Like you're not gonna think like, oh, you don't even know where the open mics are, which ones are good. It's like
I wasn't putting the time into it.
I didn't even want to do it. I had a friend of mine, Glenn Miller, years on my case. Every time I saw him at a barbecue, Joe, you got to get on stage. Joe, you got to get on stage. And I used to tell him, I know there's a difference between being funny with your friends and being funny to strangers. And then he had a contest one day, and I needed money. So, and just like you, once I up there, hooked. I was hooked. I haven't stopped since.
It's definitely something I want to develop. 100%. I can't wait to do it again. To be honest.
Do you have 5 paying friends?
I can.
Welcome to the business, buddy.
Aww.
Totally.
What's funny is Frank said to me, I said, listen, this is your first time. Don't go crazy promoting or anything. I said, oh, no, maybe 1 or 2 people are going to come. You end up having like 8 or 9 people, I think, right?
Yeah, and you want to know the other thing? Well, and I was very, very happy that everybody came out. And they were I told them all, I thanked them all again afterwards, because it was very, very special. I can't stress how special it was. But, goddamn motherfucking Facebook, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many people said, you did stand-up this past week? I was like, well, I thought I posted one thing on it, like 40 people liked it, got some shares and stuff, and I thought at that point everybody had seen it, because 40 people like it, and it's a link, because Facebook limits everything. If you put a link in there, nobody sees it. So I thought everybody had seen it by some magic, and I should have pushed it a little bit more. I might have had 5 more come out.
Well, we're going to do definitely another one. I think that doing something with Zedalza and Noma Comedy, a big music and comedy show, have you get on stage and perform comedy and then music. Gypsy, everybody. I think it'll be a blast.
Yeah, man, we should definitely do something.
I'll bring a flute.
There you go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, your skin flute. It's sitting over there.
Oh, you're my flute.
We should do something at Garcia's. I think if we build this up and we can get enough people to Garcia's right there in the Capitol, let's do it, man. Bring our own crowd. We'll make it our own. We'll just force it to be a success.
Yeah. I haven't been to Garcia's, but is it only standing? There's no seats or something?
There's bar stools, and you
turn it into a party.
Yeah. There's benches along the walls, but it's a nice place.
Yeah. Okay. I'd be down for that. I think taking all the talent that we've all kind of pulled together, especially since there's so much crossover now with everything we're all doing. I think it's just a genius idea, honestly. And
your advice that you gave, because I asked everybody, what do you think I should do? Of course, JC said be funny.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, great. But you're the one bit of advice you gave me was just to be confident in the material and don't give up on it. And that's when I was just said, all right, well then.
I would have told you to just have fun. That's what I told Gypsy.
That's what I would have told you too. Just enjoy it.
I got it in the Dropbox. I can't wait to play it tomorrow. It ended up being like 7 minutes long. I hope I didn't put you guys into a
no, you were good.
2-minute hole.
In fact, I was about to light you, and Frank was like, "No, let him go. He's doing great." And I was like,
"Yeah."
So wait, Couch Frank, what do you think about the 10-year-old doing stand-up comedy. Have you heard of the 10-year-old?
Oh, that girl?
Yeah.
I saw some of her jokes on Tumblr, and I didn't see it. It was just,
The memes.
There was memes, but they were pretty funny.
Do you feel like she wrote them herself?
I don't know. Like I said, I have not seen her move in motion yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been pictures. But the jokes are funny, like the dating joke.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
as someone that was
Everybody
a
ends up in jail.
child in entertainment, do you think she could have legitimately come up with them herself? Since you came from that background.
There are some smart ass 10-year-olds out there. I coach Little League, 10 to 12-year-olds, and there are some witty, smart, 2 steps ahead of you 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds out there. Seriously. So it's not unheard of. But before I pass judgment on that, I have to see the routine in the flesh just to see how she delivers it, because you can just tell if it's a rehearsed line or if there's something just coming out of you.
Right.
Like if you connect with it, and I just say that from a standpoint of just seeing stage performances, not stand-up comedy. You can tell if somebody connects with the material, or if it was just something that they know. I gotta pull this off right. It was written well.
Did anyone else? I watched it, and it felt rehearsed. To me, it did.
Well, she's also still a child. When you see like more veteran comedians, their stuff is still rehearsed, but they've got it down pat to the point that it sounds like a conversation. It sounds
They can
natural.
weave it into crowd work.
Yeah, but the thing that would the thing that would tear down that logic for me in my investigative work on this would be that if she is mature enough to write those jokes, then she should be able to tap into the maturity it would take to deliver them in a way that would be indicative of writing it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
not like spitting them out.
Yeah, there's certain things that it's never very surface for me.
Do you know that she has merch? She has a T-shirt, and it comes in kid sizes.
This has really gotten you. This one
I don't
point
even
of
have
it.
merch yet.
Well, that's your own fault. You should have merch.
Yo, her
doesn't-
parents are
she
pimping
shouldn't
the
have-
shit out
she
of
shouldn't
her. That's
have
great.
merch.
I don't know. This is all great. Like, good for her if she really did all that shit.
good
But
for
you know
her.
what? I can't stand. Have you guys seen all the fuck hate commercials and all that stuff that they use these little girls to talk about feminist topics and,
Oh, I
and
try
they're
not
all
to watch
cursing and they're like, my fucking
Oh,
body
I
is
did
my
see
fucking.
that. I did see that. It's like really, it's like not doing what it's setting out to do.
People are doing things right now to capitalize on children's voices for political reasons, and that I am not with these days.
It's kind of sick. It's
'Cause
like I don't like it.
They
either.
feel people aren't going to argue back with a child. Like, oh well, a child.
Right.
It's like it's
Yeah.
a buffer zone between them and their actual argument. Yeah,
Right.
no, I agree with
Exactly,
you.
yeah.
It's bullshit
Like a
because
puppet.
half of those kids don't really have a grasp of exactly what they're talking about. Like their parent could be like, "Well, listen, someone wants to do something with your body," but in a child's mind, that's not registering the same way as an adult woman.
Right.
And I'd be like, tell me more about what you want to do with my body.
As long
You know
as
what?
you're
There's a
lifeguard.
sketch there. There's a sketch there. The alternative to it.
Oh, I wish I was a kid star.
Aaron, do you remember your first time doing comedy?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad. Can you
I remember it quite well.
You
Are you taking a
passed.
survey?
You want me to go through the story or?
Yeah. Tell me about it. Was it a bringer? Was it an open mic?
It was. I did a class like a dumbass, and they had a graduation show at the end, and I
did
thought I
one
was
of
gonna
those too.
bomb.
What club was it at?
Gotham.
Andy Angle?
No. With
was the-
Jim Andrinos.
Okay.
So I thought I was gonna bomb. I ended up doing like really well,
That's great.
and it just like it started from there. And that was like in February.
Wow.
This February?
Yeah.
You've been doing this less than a year?
Yes.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Good job.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm brand new.
What do you guys think? What do you guys all, and especially you for being in those classes? What do you guys? What are the general feelings about getting yourself into classes?
Don't do 'em.
I did a class.
Yeah.
I would recommend it. I did a class at the brokerage out on Long Island when I was like right out of college. So I did that, and it's like it was good. It's like, okay, to be good at this, you need to put in some work. That's what I learned. That's what I came away from that class with. Yeah, I went off and did improv for 5 years, but I always knew in the back of my head, okay, if I want to come back to stand up, like you need to work at that. You can't just show up and like dick around. Like you have to prepare to some degree. Whereas like improv, it's all about showing up and dicking around. But that's when I came back to stand up. I did like a bringer show at Comics, which is no longer a thing in the city. I think you need to be like a little more mature, and you have to be willing to put the work in, just like you would like a one-person show. Stand-up is along those lines. It's not like, whereas like improv is like, I think you can be less committed. You know, it's like you could just kind of like theater games, and whereas I think the having a class is like accountability, and it helps you figure out probably your voice maybe a little bit sooner, or at least like start going on that path of like, oh, okay, I have to find out like what my brand is, like what my
I wouldn't do a class again. It's like looking back on it now.
For everything I've read, it's a waste of money.
Yeah,
you're spending $350.
Nobody can teach you how to be funny.
Right.
You kind of got to figure that out on your own.
You're almost better off just like studying and shadowing and finding someone to write with.
Well, even our teacher was like, you know, don't spend the whatever amount of money. You could spend the same amount of money on mics and get the same amount, same amount of work.
It depends where you're at, because like I was out on Long Island, I wasn't going to mics, I didn't have anybody to shadow with,
right.
So like that was my experience with somebody like kind of pointing me like in the right direction.
I think that was my thought about going to school for business management as well. I went to Manhattanville, and I realized after the first business class, and they're teaching you how to manage people and this and that. And, you know, I always say that wherever I've worked where there's HR people, just like, you can put a fucking...
HR people are the worst people.
The worst. Okay, and it's stupid. You don't need anything to be you need to be a social hypochondriac to be an HR person.
Or an egomaniac.
Exactly. All you have to do is think about, okay, what if I say this, who's going to get pissed off? And how do I... So... You know, instead of taking 5 business classes to learn about how to manage people, if you don't have people skills, it's fucking, you're done. I mean, don't worry about it, because then you're just going to be a robot following the blue book. You know, so I totally get what you say about if you're funny, you're funny, and you can't learn how to be that way. Yeah. So, because it can apply in so many different levels, especially business. You know,
well, same thing goes for on stage. You can't get up there and be a robot. Like, you don't have to do crowd work, but there has to be some kind of connection. They have to be able to feel you. They can tell. Like, that audience will turn themselves off if they feel you're just up there pushing through material and not paying attention to their reactions. It's pointless. Same thing as, like you said, just getting up there and just going through the motions. They know.
It depends, though. Like, a class might be good for somebody who has funny nuggets, but they bury themselves in a lot of other talk. So it might be good to like show the person that they need to edit down a little. They need to focus. Like,
I think a comedian is better off honestly investing, if you're going to do a class, an improv class instead.
Improv is super helpful.
I did the improv class too.
What about, would you guys put any merit behind maybe writing? Because I think the biggest thing, writing class, almost like, I'm talking maybe like prose though, because I had no, I mean, I've done many plays, I did the script stuff, and do a lot of broadcasts over here, but aside from that, I write short stories, I read a lot, I'm a voracious reader, and I think that just my time around the human language, just human languages and how, you know, syntax and putting together sentences and whatnot, I really do think that is something that is invaluable no matter where you're going into, even if you're just starting a business, or if you want to be if you want to do any kind of stand up or any kind of stage performance. I think that just literature is
Frank,
a great...
do you believe in prose before hose?
Yes. Oh yeah. Finishing a book, let me tell you something. Finishing the last really paragraph of a book is like a fucking release. If you just finish a nice novel, I would take finishing like Ernest Hemingway's Farewell to Arms, getting through that, and getting at the end of it, and you're just sitting there like, wow, I feel like I just blew a load. You just finish a book, and
Old Man
I
and the
guess I
Seaman.
won't be borrowing the books from you.
Old Man and the
But
Seaman.
I agree with you on the writing class thing, because that's actually my background. I was in college. I went for creative writing. I took a lot of writing classes. So when it came time for stand-up, that's where my transition came in, learning to take it from paper to stage. I would agree on taking writing classes, learning how to do stuff. If you're gonna go specifically for joke writing and you don't want to spend the money, one of the things I found that's free and helpful, Twitter. Write a joke, and then try to fit it in 140 characters, and you will learn what words in those sentences you don't need.
Or just steal other people's jokes.
Or just
Comedy Wire too.
Jokes.
Comedy Wire is a good one.
Comedy Wire is a good website if you want to get into the consistent frame of mind to be like, oh, I saw a headline, write a joke. because it'll get you to
it's good.
think about everything.
Frank, you'll be good at that.
Dude, I've got 2 quick points to that. Number one, another Ernest Hemingway bit. A man has to take a lot of punishment in his life to be able to write a funny book, he said. And the other thing that I always keep close to me is the fact that you're reading and you're writing. It makes you more articulate.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you you want to see how education's really failing people in the country just across the board. And I had this one story that my aunt always told me about why it's so important to be educated. And when they brought one of our great uncles to a hospital, and he was just so he got out of school like when he was 13. He never wanted to read, never wanted to do anything. He found a job that got him through. And when he got to the hospital one day, right toward the end of his life, he couldn't even describe the pain he was having, where things were hurting. I mean, I think it's so important to be able to articulate the things that are so hard to put your finger on that everybody experiences, because that is where life really comes alive. It's the little things, not those big, huge things that come and destroy the entire world. The little tiny moments, and that's reading and writing.
One last thing. Ernest Hemingway, when you get down to it, everything is editing. I loved his line of the first draft of anything is a piece of shit. And that I've lived my life by.
That's like a good Twitter advice.
All right, guys, we have very quickly run out of time. Frank, thank you so much for sitting in.
Thank you guys so much.
We're going to go through our plugs. Let's hit it, Gypsy. September 23rd, 9 p.m., you can catch Chrissie Mayr at Broadway Comedy Club for Broadly Funny. Chrissie's on that. Carrie Louise Cotter is probably the headliner on that, but it doesn't have it explained that way.
What if I'm the headliner?
Yeah, really.
Fine. Chrissie's the headliner.
Jeez.
Thursday, you can at Lucy's Lounge in Pleasantville, New York. Comedy Chaos continues with Joseph Conklin and Tom Grassi co-hosting it. Let's see, which of our friends? Marielle Turner's on there. Dan Lamort, who's been here, and so is Ryan Dalton. They're all on it. That's a $10 show, 7:30 Thursday. Lucy's in Pleasantville, New York. Friday night,
Right graphic.
Comics at Barney McNabb's in Yonkers, 9 p.m. show starring Tommy Gooch. Joseph Conklin is hosting it with our friend Bill Cannon is on that one as well. Next Thursday, October 1st, you can catch Lucy's Laughs again. Comedy Chaos, co-hosted by JC Knows Best and our good friend here, Aaron, who's on this show that we're friends with. Big Kev is on it. Lisa Whiteside's on it. That's a fun one. Thursday, October 1st, 7:30 p.m. Only $10.
Those are great shows.
Yeah.
Those are great shows. Joseph Conklin, any parting words or Twitter handles or shouts?
No.
No. Chrissy?
Ernest Hemingway once said that you should follow me on Twitter at Chrissie Mayr and my website, ChrissieMayrComedy.com.
Aaron?
You can follow me at Aaron Made You Laugh on both Twitter and IG.
IG is code for Instagram.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
And AaronSabater.com.
AaronSabater.com. You can see Frank Valbiro every night at 7 p.m. for Quite Frankly, which is right before our show. Also, Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can catch them at 9 p.m. Gypsy for Zedalza, New York. Stay tuned for a lot of things from Frank. You can follow me at FrankieP614. Also, NomaComedy.com. Twitter, Instagram at Noma Comedy. And stay tuned. The Yonkers Comedy Festival is coming November 11th to 14th. So get ready for that. Thank you for watching, and we will see everybody next week.
Love you. Bye.